And some of the answers that we want to get right now could come from Dave Aronberg, because he's the state attorney for Palm Beach County, and he knows a thing or two about how to prosecute kids. So, Dave, pardon my voice. I tested positive for COVID. I'm alone in a studio, so no one is around me. I just want to tell that to viewers who may have joined. I heard the DA talking about adult charges in the system. I also heard one of the investigators say attempted murder. I want to get your take on everything.
Well, Ashleigh, first off, please get well soon. And secondly, I do expect adult charges to stem from this. The driver was 17 years old. To be an adult under the law, you'd be 18, but the prosecutors have the opportunity and the discretion to charge juveniles as adult in certain cases. And when you commit a heinous, depraved act like this at the age of 17, yeah, you are almost certainly going to be charged as an adult. And as far as the passenger, same, I would say, although we don't know his age yet, assuming he is 16 or 17, yeah, you can count on both of them to be charged as adults. And as far as attempted murder, it is possible. We don't know all the facts about the first bicyclist. This is the first I heard about it, was just on your show just now. But if this car did intend to do the same thing and did sideswipe a bicyclist, then I do think that the district attorney would charge attempted murder. Now, keep in mind, the death penalty is off the table. It is unconstitutional to impose a death penalty on someone who's a juvenile. And life in prison is available, but you've got to jump through some extra hoops because of some recent court rulings to get a juvenile life in prison.
Well, I listened real carefully after they listed out the 4 stolen vehicles. 3 of them ID'd and recovered. The 4th has not, or at least as of a couple hours ago, hadn't been recovered. And then that investigator who was dropping those details mentioned the attempted murder, which I thought was alarming. But I did want to ask you, after I play this soundbite from the DA, it's Steve Wolfson, who's talking about the adult system and the machine that these 2 kids are in now, pending being charged as adults. Have a listen.
In any criminal case, there are 2 phases. Phase number 1 is the investigation, and I want to applaud Metro for the excellent work this last 5 weeks or so at conducting this investigation, which culminated in the arrest of this second individual. Investigations don't stop. The investigation will continue. But now we enter into phase 2, which is the prosecution of these 2 individuals. And that has already started down at the juvenile level, and very quickly will be transferred to the adult system.
Well, that sounds real definitive to me, Dave. And it said 2 of them. Again, I don't know the age of the second one. If he's 15 or 16 or 17, I just know he's not 18. But I did want to ask about the passenger arrested today, the one who is in the orange balaclava videotaping and encouraging his friend to hit his ass. What does that mean when a murder results from this felony?
Well, they'll both go down for murder, and the depravity here where you have the passenger encouraging the driver. It's like giving him a gun and saying, hey, go shoot this guy. I mean, a car is like a loaded weapon. And I think...
What does it mean for charges?
Oh, well, I think they'll both be charged with murder, both of them, as principals to the murder. And that's just on this one. The previous bicyclist, we don't know yet, but as far as what we saw in front of us. And remember, it was the passenger who not only encouraged the driver to hit him, but then was gleeful afterwards. Gleeful, and then he was the one who videoed it. So he was the one, obviously, who distributed it. He was proud of his work. So this is as disgusting of an incident that I have experienced, because although I've dealt with a lot of heinous crimes, it's rare that it's caught so clearly on video and so clearly that you see the lack of remorse, and even beyond that, the gleefulness, the depravity here right in front of your eyes.
I do want to make a mention, Dave, of the hero kid at the school who brought it to the resource officer and told the resource officer, who then shared it with Metro Vegas police so that they could begin their investigation. They thought it was just a hit and run, and they had no idea about this till that kid gave it to the resource officer. Dave Aronberg, let's talk again, because I think there's big news that's going to fall tomorrow. And like I said, these kids, their life is over as they know it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.